Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Faye Watt, and let's queer up entertainment. Gay HBO head says on new Harry Potter that JK Rowling is entitled to her opinion. Gay HBO CEO Casey Bloys isn't a stranger to controversy. He had previously faced backlash for greenlighting the network show Confederate, a show where the Confederate States successfully left the U.S. and created a world where slavery and racism were commonly accepted. That show ended up being canceled. Now, as the network faces criticism for working with anti-trans writer JK Rowling on a new Harry Potter series, Bloys again seems unbothered. HBO already has one show that they produce with Rowling and BBC called CB Strike, and the new Harry Potter series continues to move forward regardless of public opinion. In an interview on the podcast The Town with Matthew Belloni, Bloys said of Rowling, quote, "I think it's pretty clear. Those are her personal political views. She's entitled to them. Harry Potter is not being secretly infused with anything, and she's entitled to those views. And I think people are pretty clear that she's entitled to them. And if you want to debate her, you can go on Twitter," end quote. Transgender advocates have protested both Rowling's involvement and the cast of the new show. You know, JK Rowling is disgusting. Okay, how about that? She's a TERF, all right? And if you don't know what a TERF is, she is the definition of what a TERF is, okay? So a TERF is a trans exclusionary radical feminist, all right? And you basically don't think that trans women are women, period. Right? Hard stop. You refuse to engage in the data. You refuse to think of the science. You refuse to think of folks being their true authentic self. You just disregard that as no facts at all. And that's that. And women are women, and that's that. Okay. I think that's disgusting. And I'm a woman sitting in this seat. Okay. So, I mean, JK Rowling is a TERF, and Casey Bloys, I mean, where are your cojones? You know what I mean? Like, it didn't go well with Confederate, which, mind blown. I mean, you could have seen that at the table that wasn't going to go. That wasn't going to fly.
Where was the red light on that one?
It got canceled. And, you know, all those people must have gotten fired because, I mean, come on, who was in your ear letting you think that that might have been a good idea? And now here you are with all that JK Rowling represents. You're going to do something else with them. I mean, HBO is also the people with, and just like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you boys think about this?
Well, you know, to be honest about Harry Potter and JK Rowling, you know, I was never interested in Harry Potter. So I'm not interested in JK Rowling. So that's really more or less. So, you know, it's sad that she just can't think of that the other way, you know, for herself in terms of transgender. Maybe she doesn't understand it. Like, I don't understand Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? I'm not bothered by it. I'm glad people like it. So I just wish she had that, you know, empathy back. But she doesn't have that. No. So it's evident.
Edward, she's worth billions.
Yeah.
With a B.
And she has such a good influence on good, positive things, and she doesn't use it for that.
Can you imagine if she could, like, use that? Yeah. I mean, it's hate, and that's what it is. It's basically hate.
Well, I'm just kind of stunned because, you know, okay, she can have her opinion. We're here in the United States. Everyone gets the right to their opinion. But you don't create more money for a bitch. Why are we buying her shows? Why are we buying... I mean, HBO, you've been struggling financially against Netflix and everybody else. Are you that desperate? Just because it's got our name on it doesn't mean people are going to support it. And you're getting rumblings from the supporters of Harry Potter and all those generations of people that have watched it. Even they're questioning this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was their childhood. You know what I mean? Like, I know gay boys that was their books. That was what they lived in. You know, we all found something to escape growing up, right? Because when you're gay, you don't fit into the groups that you want to fit into, you know?
But Harry Potter gave hope to the hate because it was about outsiders.
It was about magic. It was about being different. How did you do books about that and then not have, you have these crazy
I could have watched it and maybe enjoyed it, but now I don't even want to. So it's like, you know, oh, I hear about fairies and I'm like, well, maybe I'll watch it, but no, I don't want to. So, you know.
Why give her the platform to be that much angrier and that much more hateful and that much more lost?
Yeah.
Stop making her money.
Stop making her money. And that means, and you know, and that's the Disneys and folks like that have like Harry Potter lands and all that. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I don't know the names and all that. You know what I mean? Hogsworth or whatever the hell those things are. You know, all that keeps on putting money in her pocket.
Right.
And you know, gay boys and gay girls and theys and thems are going and paying their hard-earned money to go into this place and give this woman more money when she shouldn't be getting.
Think about it, though. Who's she getting her money from? all the gays that she doesn't like, right? But at the end of, I grew up with the books. My kids, had the books, and I read them all because I was like, I was involved in the church, and that was the big story then too. Was the church didn't want the kids reading the books because of the sorcery and the witchcraft and the magic that was in them. It wasn't about anything else other than that. Yeah. And it's great what they did, and like you said, she could have such great influence in a positive light. And eventually, I think that will happen, not from her, but I think we'll see the positive in it. But she's an amazing storyteller. She is.
What a mind! What an imagination!
Right?
What representation for women you could be!
Right.
You weren't a bitch.
Yes.
Like holy crap!
Right.
And what hatred she has.
Yep.
Huh?
What hatred she has. And HBO.
Call me, JK. Call me. We can sit down and hash this all out. I feel for people like this that I know are educated. I know better. I know have a heart in there. If they could just sit with one of us and ask all the crazy questions. Even better, don't even sit with me. Sit with one of my trans sisters and ask them about their experience and ask them all the crazy questions and fears that you have, because you obviously are fearful that trans women are going to take over the world or something, which they should, and the world would be better.
But this story is about Casey and the poor decisions Casey's making as a gay man who leads HBO.
Yeah. And again, making another mistake.
It's seeing alliances that, that kind of, are questionable now. It's kind of like, who are you really aligning with? Is it about money? Is it about politics? Is it about artistry? You have to look at all of the angles with something like that.
And I get that challenge, but I just challenge Casey to think twice. There's so many good things, so many good things you can put your money to that I can guarantee will be a lot less challenging, a lot less hateful, and stop giving platform to people who hate.
Yep.
Right.
That's it. You want to entertain me? Make me laugh.
That's it.
Don't make me hate.
Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.